Hey fellow heathens, it's Liz again, and I'm here with a comparison video of the Darkness of Light 2nd edition and the Darkness of Light 4th edition, which is the newest release from Tony DeMoro. And these were the two cards that came in the box with the 2nd edition. Here is the extra card that came in the box with the 4th edition, and I'll show you and compare the backs in just a moment. So as far as the boxes are concerned, this is the 2nd edition and this is the 4th edition. They are tuck boxes. So here are the sides. They both did come with a signature on the inside flap of the tuck boxes. The 2nd edition was dated and the 4th edition was not for me. They both came with bags. You can see that this is the backings of both decks. The 4th edition logo here is a little bit larger. So they're both a linen bag. Okay, so as far as the backs, let's take a look. So you can see already a color difference. The wolves here are a little bit bigger in the 4th edition, plus they have a circle encasing them and a little spirograph image that you saw in the box that's now on their collars. So we'll take a look at that. And then to the cardstock. You can see that the 2nd edition is a little bit of a smoother cardstock, whereas the 4th edition is now a linen cardstock, and you can see the texture right there. Some people were complaining that their 2nd edition, 1st, 2nd, and possibly 3rd edition chipped at the edges, but I have edged mine in a black Sharpie, which definitely helped with that, and depending on the cardstock is dependent upon how I treat my decks. So you can see right away that the 2nd edition is a little bit thicker than the 4th edition. I have yet to edge this one. I wanted to record this video before I did that. I feel that the 4th edition, you'd be able to shuffle it a little bit better as far as riffle shuffling is concerned. And it definitely has a nicer feel to it. However, I will say that the 2nd edition coloration is much deeper and darker and definitely showcases the dichotomy or the difference between the light and the dark vastly better than the 4th edition does. I feel like the blacks in the 2nd edition were deep and the light it popped off of these dark blacks, whereas the 4th edition, the blacks are almost like a black gray. So the difference there, it isn't the same. So I'm gonna zoom in and we'll take a look. So as far as before I do that, as far as sizing, they're pretty much the same. However, I do feel that this is the 2nd edition here. It looks to me like a medium corner rounder versus the 4th edition, which is a smaller corner rounder. So I feel like that's the only difference as far as size. So to compare it to standard tarot, just a hair shorter, but the same in width. And same for the 4th edition. And this is the Centennial, Rider-Waite Centennial. Okay, so let's get started. Let's zoom in. Okay, so here's our Fool, and right away you can tell the blacks and the grays, and the coloration is definitely different. Magician. I mean, look at that water. pops off of the, right next to these deep dark black colors. And our High Priestess, look at that moon. I mean, they both look like they're glowing, don't they? But this one, I gotta say, I'm a little, disappointed in that fact, because I was really looking forward to this cardstock. Oh, one thing I also would like to mention is the number of the card has now been put into a little circle underneath, so it's a little bit more symmetrical, which is kind of nice. And the bottom, let's see, the border sizes, the 4th edition, the top border is a smidge thicker, but on the 2nd edition, the bottom border is just a smidge thicker. I think they're pretty much the same though on the bottom. And look at the difference in the green of her dress. Here's our Emperor. I feel like his shin guards, or the metallic color in his shin guards, a little bit more prominent in the 2nd edition than in the 4th edition. This card definitely shows you the difference here. Overall, look at that moon against the sky, and look at the difference in his garment. He almost looks like an old statue in the 2nd edition, which is really awesome. Look at the sheet that's covering the woman. You can see the details a little bit clearer in the 2nd edition, those circles. Our Chariot. Strength. Look at this Hermit. I do love this deck though, which is why I had to get the 4th edition. Even the little swatches of blue is a little bit different. Here's Justice. Look at the fire. Look at the glowing sword here. Our Hanged Man. One of my favorite death cards of all time. And his flag. Look at it. Look at the person on the ground. Like he's being taken over. I feel like the details of the flower and the flag are a little bit more pronounced in the 2nd edition. Temperance. And the Devil. Turning it so that you can see once again the difference in cardstock. Look at that tower. Look at the smoke billowing. I'm not normally a fan of faces in my stars and suns and moons, but it depends on the face. This one I don't mind. Look at the water that she's pouring out against the backdrop of the sea. It's our moon. It's interesting that this was flipped from the 1st edition. 1st edition, the wolves were facing to the right, and so was the moon. There was a change to the Hermit card as well from the 1st edition. He was wearing more of a Pope's hat, and I'm glad that, let me just show you. I'm glad that they changed it to just his hood. And here's our sun. This dog apparently is drawn after the Tony's, I believe. I'm not sure if it's his dog or someone he knows his dog, but it's the same dog here, and you'll see the dog several times throughout the deck. Let's see. Oh, this is the second time that we're seeing this dog in the sun. Love this Judgment card. A lot of people are like, whoa, it is intense. Look at, they are just, please don't hurt me. I'm sorry, buddy, I can't play with you. My dog, Rambo, just dropped his ball at my feet. Sorry, buddy, I'm busy. So look at the figure looming over the mountains, coming over the mountains, and everyone is naked and vulnerable and subject to what comes next. And our world or universe card. Let's get a closer look at the coloration here. Gosh, what, you know, I don't know if it's the cardstock, but I wanted to show you from, before we move on from the majors, the Lonely Dreamer Tarot. This is also, let me zoom out here. This is also a linen cardstock, and I wanted to kind of show you some of the blacks in this deck. So you can see that's pretty darn dark, right? Here's the black. Here's a lot of saturation here, a lot of saturation there. So why did it have to be so dulled and watered down? You know, it's like a totally different color. I don't know. So I wanted to kind of show you, yeah, so look, it's definitely, this is a linen, and this is a linen. So just a thought. I don't know if it has to do with a cardstock or if it was a change that Tony made. So let's zoom back in here. And you can see right away, each of the suits have a different color. So the majors were like a grayish, right? The suit of swords is kind of like a blue-gray. The suit of wands has a lot of purpley pinks. And the cups have like a blue-gray. And the pentacles or coins have a brownish rust color. So this would be fall. I feel like this would be summer. This would be spring. And this would be winter. And the same goes here for this deck. So let's just fan it out and take a look. So I'm going to do a quick comparison here. So here's the 4th edition fanned out. And here's the 2nd edition fanned out. Now the 2nd edition is no longer available. Two of blades. I like that there's no heart being pierced here. Four of blades. I don't really care that there's a tombstone there. I feel like the 4 is stability of the mind and or rest, and this is permanent. You're not coming back from that. So, you know, you get it. You can work with it. Conflict. Love this. Love this card. This actually kind of reminds me of the Crystal Visions Tarot. I think that there's the 6 of swords is very similar to this style of drawing, and very reminiscent of the sword suit in the Lightseers tarot. He's either struggling or kind of laughing like, hey, 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 I got them. It's kind of cool. 8, 9, and point your attention to the detail of her blanket here. I do kind of see a face in the blanket too. And it seems like there's some fighting going on her bedpost or bed frame. And the 10. Our page. Some of the faces are blurred out, so the Temperance card, the face is also blurred. And I don't have the guidebook, and I think I read that the guidebook is really just a interpretation of RWS and not really commentary on the artwork, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna put the knight aside because the knights are repeated but changed in a couple of the suits. There's our queen. Not taking any crap, but also vulnerable in her heart. And open to new experiences. Oh yeah, he can see right through you. As we move on to our Ace of Wands, beginning of springtime, our 2. Now, I suppose like right here, this orb could be your world. Like he's got the world ahead of him or on his mind. But if you look at the 3, they're both looking out into the distant landscape. So you really have to use this to differentiate. 4, stable home, celebration, calm. Our 5, just a bundle of sticks kind of just laid out. Our 6, some people took issue with this card because there's no string to his bow. But I kind of like, I pulled this card last week, and you can see he's on top of the water. So the 8 is about movement, and it's about messages. So it's fleeting and it's temporary, right? So he's playing around, right? He's not actually releasing any arrows into the world. But he's not going to be above that water for long, so he has to choose his next step quickly and carefully. And the nudity doesn't bother me. The 9. And the 10. Look at the coloration of the pinks and purples here. It is definitely toned down in the 4th edition. I don't know if you can see if I mentioned it, the difference in the top border. There's a little more texture with that spirograph here, whereas the second edition has just the black bar. Our Page of Wands, our Knight, and so let me just show you. Yep, they're the same knight, the same horse in the same position, just in a different landscape holding a different item. Our Queen with her black cat. And look at that tree behind her in full bloom. Now, if you don't particularly associate wands with spring, then it may be something that you have to work around. And our King into our Suit of Cups. There's our 2. Look at the colors and the difference here. Our 3. Oh, and I kind of like that she's got a booty. And our 3, joyous celebration among friends. 4, pretty traditional. 5, 6, love this 6. Like, is she reaching out for a girl beyond her, or is that her inner child? Castle in the Sky. Love this 8. 9 and 10. Look at those cups. Surrounded. Our Page. Our Knight, and I'm going to reserve this so that you can see the Knight of Pentacles or coins. Our Queen of Cups, who's visibly pregnant, but the Empress isn't in this deck. Our King. He almost looks like he was a mermaid caught in the net who transformed into a human. Doesn't look very kingly to me in the way he's depicted, but that's okay. Our Ace. And can you tell how this little splash of gold is a little bit bigger in the second edition versus the fourth edition? And the detail in the pentacle. Same thing for that splash of gold at the top. I don't know if this fourth edition was zoomed in slightly. 2, 3. Some people have said this is like the cover of the Beatles album. They have their like washed out white faces. Masks, possibly. 4. Here's that dog again. I love this card though. It's coming in from the cold, or possibly coming in from the cold. There's more hope here in this card than there is in a lot of other 5 of Pentacle cards. Six of Coins, some people feel that this is more of like a hanging your resources over others. Like she's begging and she's like, you want it? You want it? What are you gonna give me for it? Just depends on how you see it. Look at the cloak. There's a lot of difference in coloration here in the corn stalks here. Our 8, he's also naked. Forging pentacles, naked. Seems like a dangerous pastime to me, but who am I to judge? 9 of Coins. 10, and our cute little dog in front of the fire. Our Page. Oh, look at that stare. And our Knight. So I wanted to show you the Knight of Cups. Let me just put that one down. And the Knight of Coins. Same girl, same face, different hair, different accoutrements on the horse a little bit. Right here's green, here's a brown, a different environment. And she's holding a flag. The Queen. Now the landscape seems a little bare here for me. Yes, I know we have the goat, we have the bunnies, but the landscape seems bare for our Queen of Pentacles. And our King. I love the pumpkins. Let me get you a close-up look on that. And there you have it. That is the 2nd and the 4th edition. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be rehoming one of these or keeping them both. I have to really think about that one, and I'll show you. I don't want to, I mean, this one overhands great, you know, and that's pretty much, and it slides really nice. Let me zoom out just a smidge. And that's kind of how I shuffle this one, just to safeguard against any chipping or anything that might happen, although I really have not been disappointed with this cardstock. And then we'll give the other one a bit of a shuffle. So as far as overhand, it sticks just a smidge, but I know it will riffle perfectly. See? Oop. Let it go. Let's try that again. Yep, it's all good. So let's pick a card. What do we need to know today? What's the message that Spirit has for us today? Oh no, nightmares. No. The 9 of Blades, if you think of the blades as cutting through the parts of us that no longer serve us, it's cutting through the ego, it's cutting through limitation, it's cutting through the things that we let haunt us. So they're not going through her. You know, she's perfectly safe here. So she just has to be able to rework her thoughts around what it is that's bothering her and causing her worry and distress. So if you look at it that way, then it would be easy for her to get up and remove these swords from her bed and then lay back down peacefully. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that like button. And I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.